Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Eastern High School as this evening the 2016 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank wraps up with two intriguing matchups. In tonight's opener, the Senators look to get back on track after being derailed here last night by a disciplined Borden squad. Meanwhile, the host Musketeers will see what they have left in the tank and after being in a very physical track meet with the Salem Lions before falling to 0-6 on the season last night. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast will be my sidekick and broadcast partner, Joe Walker. Well, there's no other way to say it. Last night's Senator loss to the Braves went from promising to painful as the Senators surrendered a 10-point advantage early in the second quarter and visited the old woodshed in the second half. In fact, the Senators watched the Braves put up a whopping 54 points in what turned out to be a clinic in all phases of the game during the third and fourth quarters combined. The Senators frequently struggled to shut off dribble penetration, once again leading to open looks not only on the perimeter, but also in an impressive series of fast break scoring opportunities as the Braves rolled to the 74-58 win. The loss halted a four-game winning streak for Coach Smith's ball club, and ironically enough, left his ball club doing the same soul-searching they found themselves doing after last year's opening round loss to the Borden Braves in this tournament. So as I welcome in Joe to our pregame conversation, one has to wonder, will this year's Senator team be able to respond in the same manner that they were able to last year after that opening round loss? After all, the focus and attention does now turn to an Eastern ball club that the Senators have already hammered once by 28 points just 2 weeks ago. So how did the Senators put the earlier meeting behind them, put last night behind them, and move forward into tonight's matchup?
Well, first, I think they got to look themselves in the mirror from the performance that they put on last night. I know you don't never, you want to have a, you forget things, bad things that happen and try to go on. You got to kind of lose your thought process. But I think tonight they needed to have looked in the mirror today and realized that they didn't perform last night. They didn't show up. They started the game off well, and then a couple turnovers and a couple calls that were questionable, and they just totally blew up, as you say. They derailed. So to get on the run that we made coming out of the tournament last year has to start tonight against the same team that we did it last year against. 28 points a couple weeks ago doesn't mean nothing tonight, because 2 weeks ago that Eastern squad didn't look nothing like they looked last night. Granted, Salem didn't have Seth Hobson, but they still look much better all over the floor.
Well, on the flip side of the coin, Eastern head coach Scott Newcomb's Musketeers was able to grind out 2.5 quarters against a shorthanded Salem team last night without the services of Seth Hobson for the Lions. In fact, the Musketeers matched Salem's energy and trailed by only 7 points at the halftime break before ultimately having some costly turnovers there in the second half and missing out on some good scoring opportunities around the rim. That led to a 74-57 loss to the Lions. Joe, the Musketeers sure didn't play like a team that was still searching for their first win on the season. Actually, I thought they looked much improved from 2 weeks ago. But you just have to wonder how much Eastern has left in the tank after such a physical track meet style of play last night.
Well, I would say they still are running on adrenaline, and hope, for Pekin, they hope that they can continue on for 32 more minutes. West Washington, the same thing. But I think West Washington probably has a little more gas in the tank, because I don't think they burnt much last night. They used 1/4 of a tank of gas out of their tank last night, so they've still got 3 left. So mental lapses, we've got to cut down on the mental lapses. We've got to be strong with the ball. We've got to be fundamentally sound. They have got to put on a performance of their lifetime tonight to build their confidence back up.
Senators will be hoping to stretch that 3/4 of a tank of fuel through 4 quarters of play here tonight. As always, we want to take a moment here and a timeout during our Senator Tip-Off pregame show brought to you by John Jones, GM City, to thank you for tuning in to not only our pregame but our complete broadcast of Senator basketball here tonight against the Musketeers in this holiday tourney. We also want to thank all the great sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator basketball possible on WSLM, and those sponsors include that pregame show sponsor, as always, John Jones, GM City. They're at 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. Eddie Gilstrap Motors bringing you the Senator halftime report, as well as Ace Hardware, which will bring you the Senator post-game show. As always, McDonald's, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, also great sponsors for Senator basketball this season. When we come back, we'll sit down, we'll have a chat with Senator head coach Sean Smith and get his thoughts on last night's performance against the Braves and look a little bit into the crystal ball, if you will, and see his thoughts on tonight's matchup with the Musketeers, a rematch from 2 weeks ago. But first, we'll take a 60-second timeout and hear a word from the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Tonight, you're listening to the Senators and the Musketeers on Salem's 1220.
From Jamestown to Jonesville, from North Salem to South Milford, from River Forest to Grass Creek. No matter where you live in Indiana, you can enjoy high school sports coverage at its very best on the IHSAA Champions Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. It's 35 powerhouse radio stations, Fox Sports Indiana, and the World Wide Web, combining their vast resources to blanket the state, the Midwest, and the world with the purest, most riveting presentation of high school sports in America. From Anderson to Attica, Kendallville to Kokomo, follow the high school sports that make our state great all season long. Thank you, Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, and welcome home.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show as we get you set for tonight's consolation game of the 2016 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. And we're joined as always in this portion of our show by Senator head coach, Mr. Sean Smith. Coach, rough night for your team last night, especially in that second half. Not so much the first, but that second half, Borden got rolling a little bit, and we just couldn't build off the momentum we had, especially after a good first quarter.
Yeah, I thought first quarter we got off to a really nice start, and we were patient and got good looks and built an 8 or 9 point lead, and went into at the end of the quarter, Peyton hit a 3 there and had a little momentum going into the second quarter. I thought we executed really well the first quarter overall, but the second quarter we became undisciplined and settled. They sped us up a little bit, and we were undisciplined about it. We took some really quick shots, and they capitalized. And to beat a well-coached team and a team that has a couple guys that can certainly, score from all areas, we can't be undisciplined. And that undiscipline kind of carried over into the defensive area as well. And then we didn't do a good job of keeping those guys, Bachman and Hart in particular, in front of us. And we just didn't do what we needed to do that second quarter, and they were able to cut it to 2, and then the third quarter it just came down. They just wanted it more. I mean, they dominated us on the boards, which is really unacceptable. We were so much bigger. We should have taken ownership on the boards all night. We didn't do that in the third quarter in particular, and they just kind of took it to us, and we didn't respond. And when we finally decided to respond in the fourth quarter, it was too late. And we talk all the time about too soon, it'll be too late when we talk about our season and our careers. But that game's kind of a microcosm of that. Too soon, it was too late. It was going to be too late, and sure enough, when we decided to start fighting and competing again, we were down 12 or 15 to a team that doesn't turn it over and makes their free throws.
Coach, you mentioned that second half. Of course, fourth quarter you played pretty even. The problem was you gave up about 30 points to the Braves in that fourth quarter. Really the third quarter, the bugaboo offensively, as your crew continued to struggle a little bit like they did toward the end of the second quarter with their shooting, and Borden started to get hot, outscoring you guys 22-10.
Absolutely. And the game rewards toughness and aggressiveness, and they were the more aggressive team during that stretch, and we settled and played kind of mesmerized a little bit by their defense. We missed guys inside. We just became undisciplined about doing what we need to do to be successful, and we found out, or were reminded, I guess, that it's falling behind a team like that. You might be down 10. It's like being down 20 because they have 5 guards out there. They all can handle the ball, and they can all move, and then they make their free throws. So we're not really a team that can come out and turn a team like that over enough to get back into that game. It's not going to happen too often because of our lack of overall speed, and they're able to use pressure against you, and they did that, and that's how they were able to score a ton of points. Is once we decided that we had no other choice but to come out of our man defense and kind of chase them around and try to trap them. And I knew that was I figured that would happen, but we really didn't have a choice. I mean, we had to come out and try to do something to turn the tide, and it kind of blew up. And while our offense picked up by doing that, our defense, we just gave them easy layups. So it was just trading baskets.
Coach, we always talk about the balance with this group of seniors, and all 5 of them after last night's performances. All 5 of your starters now average in double figures, and this is no knock on Hunter, but we have to have him on the floor, and that's pretty obvious. He got going early with 2 buckets last night. Same thing after battling foul trouble. Come out, try to get him established again there in the third with a couple of quick buckets, but foul trouble obviously an issue once again.
Absolutely. Hunter has to play more than 13 minutes, and he had 15 points in 13 minutes. That's great, but we need him for 26 to 30 minutes, and he knows that. We've talked about that. He has to be smart. He has to be smarter, and we talk about he can't go looking for fouls because some fouls are going to find him. That naturally happens to big guys. 6'4", 6'5" guys. They get down in the trenches, and inevitably opportunities come their way where they get kind of caught in between trying to block a shot or. You're going to pick up – big guys pick up fouls. He's got to be smart and not go up and pick up the ticky-tack fouls that if he would have kept his fouls at 3, or even 4, obviously he would have played a lot more. But he picked up a couple ticky-tack fouls, and that cost him a ton of playing time, and that inevitably really hurt us.
Coach, coming off of such a rough second half, and I know the boys had to be disappointed as well as your coaching staff and yourself. With such a short turnaround, you now face a team that you've already beaten by nearly 30 just 2 weeks ago. How do you turn that mindset around so quickly, especially against a team where you may have that fear of your guys going out just expecting a win?
Well, that's the challenge that we face, and we're facing right now. We're finding out that last year's over. 2 weeks ago, that's over. It's a new day, and it's a new game, and they're hungry. I thought they played really, really well last night. They kind of ran out of gas a little bit, but they played hard and competed, and they're hungry for a win. It's on their home court. It's going to be a major challenge for us tonight. And on top of that, it comes down to that challenge in between our 2 ears. Can we bounce back and put last night behind us and come out and fight and compete? And I was disappointed in our lack of fight in that third quarter, and basically just told the guys tonight, don't suit up if you're not going to fight. If you're not going to go out there and compete for 32 minutes, don't suit up. So we'll see, if the guys respond or how they respond to that. But it's going to be a battle, and we're going to have to really fight for 32 minutes to come out of here with a win.
Coach, you mentioned Eastern's play last night, and it's probably difficult for them with some of the young guys to keep up with some of Salem's older players. They were in a track meet, a very physical one last night, I thought, in that second game. But that's probably the one word that you could use to describe Eastern compared to our first meeting with them 2 weeks ago. I felt like they were much more physical and much more assertive, especially around the glass.
Absolutely. Yeah, they were fighting hard. They're fighting hard for a win. And, our guys, we've got to understand that we got to fight too. And just because, maybe we feel like, we're pretty good or we've got some talent doesn't mean people are just going to lay down for us and let us just walk in and win. And that's not going to be the case. It wasn't the case last night. We found that out the hard way, and it's not going to be the case tonight. So, the big thing for this weekend at this point is we need to come out and grow tonight. We need to have some growth tonight, and we've done that the past 2 years. I'm disappointed. All 3 years we've kind of went out on Friday night and laid eggs, but I will say that the past 2 years we've come out and we've grown from the experience, and the next night we have performed better. we need to make sure that we come out and play well tonight, and we leave this tournament feeling like we've at least improved and gotten better as a team and grown some. And that's going to come down to our approach as far as our really when it comes down to it, our effort for 32 minutes and our execution. We got to do a better job of executing our game plan and not getting away from that and being undisciplined.
Coach, you mentioned that game plan, and I noticed last night there were a few series where we kind of went to more of a flex offense. I'm assuming that tonight that emphasis, that main one offensively, will be post first, then perimeter.
Yeah, I mean, and it really should always be that. I mean, we're not going to run into many teams where we're giving up, our size advantage, and so, we need to be patient. The flex, we ran out a little bit last night just to get some movement, just to get some guys moving around a little bit because we kind of started standing. But basically, I mean, whatever we run, we've got to take some ownership in it and understand that, we're inside out.
And that was the majority of my conversation tonight with Senator head coach Sean Smith just prior to the warm-up starting. Tonight, let's run down our keys to victory, brought to you by our pregame show sponsor, John Jones, GM City in Salem. First and foremost, Joe, I think they've just got to bring that energy, and they better have brought it from the bus in Campbellsburg to right now, getting ready for this opening tip, because we like that in the second half. Secondly, we have to attack the rim. When you got 6'4", 6'4", 6'5", at the rim, and you got a guy that's 6'4", almost 300 pounds, and they're bullying a 5'10" guy like we had last night at times, we've got to get the guy the ball in the post. We got to feed the beast down low. And then A&E. It's a football mantra of ours at West Washington, but it's a matter of, are you going to bring that great attitude, and are you going to bring that effort for 32 minutes? Because as Coach said in the pregame, if you don't, there's no need of dressing.
That's exactly what I was thinking about today. I was thinking about what Coach Burke said at the football banquet. He was talking about A&E, attitude and effort. We lacked that last night. We've got to find it tonight or we're in trouble.
Those keys to victory brought to you by John Jones, GM City, a proud sponsor of Senator Basketball and Salem's WSLM, and our pregame show sponsor all season long. Call the fine folks at John Jones GM City at 1-800-ISL-GM. Check them out at johnjonesautogroup.com, or better yet, stop by that beautiful showroom and lot at 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones GM City, you see so many because they pay so little. Folks, we've come to that moment. We're going to step aside for just a minute, listen to the national anthem. You're going to listen to a sponsor of ours. When we come back, we'll run down tonight's starters, brought to you by John Jones GM City, and we'll get ready with the opening tip. It's the Senators and Musketeers on Salem's 1220 tonight. Thanks for being with us. We'll come back and have those lineups in just a moment.
My name is Becky White from WSLM, and I'm at the beautiful new John Jones GM City facility in Salem, Indiana. And I've got the service manager, Scott McCoy, with me for the John Jones Auto Minute.
At John Jones GM City, our certified service center is rolling out more great deals to give you a December to remember. Have you had your vehicle's battery tested before the cold weather hits? Your battery's cold cranking amps are a vital element to starting in cold temperatures. We invite you in for a free battery test, and if needed, General Motors has a great rebate offer on our Professional Series AC Delco batteries. Speaking of rebates, General Motors has more great rebates on tires. We are offering a $70 rebate on Pirellis and an $80 rebate on Goodyear, Dunlops, and Hankook tires. This is on select sets of 4 tires, mounted and balanced at our service center. And remember, here at John Jones GM City, you can also get a free alignment check on your vehicle just by asking. And don't forget about our General Motors Tire Price Match Guarantee. Find a competitor's tire priced lower, and GM will refund the difference. Here at John Jones Certified Service Center, we also offer several other free inspections, like your wiper blades, tire pressures, tread depth readings, and diagnostic codes. Please visit our website for many more money-saving offers at johnjonesautogroup.com. Call us anytime. Our service hours are Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6, Saturday, 7:30 to 1. We'll see you soon.
John Jones GM City. You see so many because they paid so little.
Back for our John Jones GM City starting lineups here inside of Eastern High School. Let's run them down. First for the 0-6 Eastern Musketeers. Head coach Scott Newcomb trying to bounce back from last night's loss to Salem. They'll start a 3-guard set rather. Matt Coates, number 12, a 5'11 sophomore, at about 3 points per ball game. We'll start in the backcourt with Vince Coates, number 14. He is a 5'10 senior at nearly 3 points per game as well. Parker Wallingford, who didn't start against the Senators the first time, will get the start tonight, 5'10 and a junior at about 8 points per ball game. And up front, Ridge Hall will start at 1 forward, 6'6 senior, about 4 points per game. And Connor Marshall on the other block, 6'2 and a junior at about a dozen per contest for the Musketeers. For the Senators, now 4-2 on the year after last night's loss to Borden. They'll start their normal lineup. Number 4, Michael Sizemore, 6 foot and a senior. He averages 11 points per game. Noah Green, a 6'3 senior in the backcourt with him at 11.2 per contest. Up front, Peyton Walker, number 30, a 6'4 senior at 11.2 per game. Hunter Sanford's at the 4 spot, 14.5 points per game to lead the team. And in the middle, the Iceman, Jackson Byrne, at 10.8 points per contest for Coach Sean Smith and the Senators. It'll be Hall and Sanford to tip it up. Senators in the traveling blue threads again. The Under Armour uniforms being rocked once more in this holiday tourney. Red and white trim, red letters and numerals. Eastern in the home white threads trimmed in purple and gold with purple letters and numerals. Senators start off on your 1220 AM dial, moving tonight from right to left in this first half as they get the opening tip. They control it, and Noah Green goes to work early. Dribble drive into the paint. He gets a shot to go around the basket, and 15 seconds in, the Senators have a 2-0 advantage. Senators open in a little man-to-man defense, as always. A little nickel look defensively for the boys in blue. Ball worked out on the perimeter by Coates. Out now to Wallingford. He dribble drives in, kicks it back out to Matt Coates. Back to Wallingford, 2-man game. Pitch and catch out at the top of the key. Senators very, very aware of cutters through the paint thus far. Another one comes across the baseline. That is Vince Coates. Coates did not start, neither did Wallingford in that first matchup with West Washington over in the friendly confines 2 weeks ago. Dribble drive into the paint. Marshall, turnaround hook shot. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar style won't go, as he couldn't get it to fall at the rim. Little sky hook underneath. Nice feed. Green up and under to Jackson Byrne. And Byrne can't finish. Had it partially blocked, but you see a lot of players with that baby hook style, and he went more like Kareem and kind of sky hooked it. Left it a little long down at the other end, so Musketeers dry on their first possession. 1-4 low set. They get it wide open to Jackson Byrne. Nice feed from Michael, who gets the assist. And the Iceman on the board with his first 2 of the night. Make it now 4-0. West Washington out to the same start they had last night.
Now, Center's got to know right now they're up to a 4-0 lead. That's not enough. They've got to keep pushing and pressuring the ball.
Coates with it out top. Vince and Matt, that is, with Parker Wallingford. Little 3 out, 2 in set. Now they'll bring Marshall out to the left wing as Matt Coates directs traffic. Gives it off to Wallingford to transfer from New Albany last year, who had to play JV due to the transfer rules. He misses long on a 3 from the left side. Sizemore comes out with it. Goes to the other end. Leaves it to Peyton in the corner. Back out to Sizemore. Goes immediately to Hunter. Turnaround jump hook. A little long, won't go. Offensive rebound. No put back up. And in. Count it and one for the junior, or for the senior rather. 6'3 Noah Green. Nice offensive rebound, and he goes back up, kisses it off the window for 2, and he'll have an old-fashioned 3-point play opportunity. Noah with 4 quick ones out of the gate, and it's a 6-0 advantage here early for West Washington.
It was easy for Noah to get that board on that play, because when Hunter turned for the shot, Noah had creeped in from the backside on the block and was standing there open. Could have got an entry pass right there from Hunter for 2 right before the rebound.
Senators trying to pull off a deja vu performance like they had last year. It was a disappointing loss in that opening round to Borden last year, and then they bounced back with a big win over Eastern down at Borden in last year's holiday tourney that got the little roll going for the Senators into the new year. Senators trying to do the same thing. Of course, they'll play again before the turn of the calendar. They'll be at the Springs Valley holiday tourney as defending champs the week after Christmas. Vince Coates, nice feed in the post to Ridge Hall, who had a nice game against Salem last night on the re-entry back out to the wing. Vince Coates can't finish. Michael comes off with the weak side board, pushes in transition to Byrne. Nice slip through on the block, double team, kicks it out to Sizemore. Dribble drive, gets in the paint, splits 2 defenders, left it short, fought for his own rebound, but Ridge Hall comes out of there with it. Eastern in transition, trailing at 7-0 here early to West Washington. Just wonder how much legs how many rather are left as they get it stripped away, and Green on the floor after it, tried to save the possession. Then Connor Marshall has it. 4 jerseys, 2 blue, 2 white.
That's the way to go. That's what they got to do.
It's
hard work.
First
Hunter,
turnover.
come on. He come in and pushed the kid from behind. Why?
This officiating crew all over Hunter. We're going to have a technical foul. Noah and Connor Marshall went to the floor in front of the Senator bench, and now Coach Smith going to get an explanation. Hunter joins them in a 3-man conversation here in front of the Senator bench, but Marshall and Noah went to the floor fighting for the ball after it was poked away. Senators are going to come up with the steal off of the turnover. Turnover number 1 on the night for Eastern, and first of the ball game for either club. Hunter comes in late. Looks like he may give a bump or a shove. Didn't get to see all of it, but they're going to give him a technical, which will go as a personal. So we'll have to keep tabs on Hunter. Certainly don't want a second technical, as they're going to send Matt Coates to the free throw line.
There was 4 blue jerseys on the floor, I believe, and I seen Hunter flash through, and I didn't know what caused it. I didn't see his arms out. I don't know if he just ran into the kid like he was going to come in for the ball too, but it was done. It had been whistled. It was bam bam.
So
I don't really know.
Off the technical, this was after the Senators were given possession of the ball. We'll still count it as a turnover, but then off of the technical, Eastern gets it back again as Hunter's whistled for the tee. Another one will send him to the locker room. Matt Coates hits the 2 free throws. It ends a 7-0 run to start the game for West Washington. Vince Coates with it now on the right wing. Looks down low for Marshall, battling against Nick Mars, the 6'3 junior big man who's checked in for his first minutes of the night. Usually we see Bryce first. Senators very physical, though, in this man-to-man defense in this first quarter. Nick really doing a nice job of battling with Marshall down low. It's
who's going to call the foul on? Somebody's going to get one.
Marshall at 6'2 and Mars at 6'3, just bumping each other like crazy on the block. Wallingford deep 3, way off the mark, no good. Michael with another strong weak side board, kicks it ahead to Green in the open court, finishes at the rim, and Noah has 7 of the team's 9 points, and the Senators off to the hot start here early in this first quarter. Misty Jones alongside of Joe Walker, Craig Akers on stats, and also bringing you the live stream coverage tonight. If you go to our WW Senator Radio Facebook or Twitter accounts, you can find the link there for tonight's ball game. Connor Marshall, high post right side, gives it off to Ridge Hall, kicks it out now to Matt Coates. Pull-up jumper, 16-footer, way off the mark, just hits glass as Jackson closes out on him. 3-on-3 break. Michael to Jackson, steps through, off the window, it won't go. Rebound tipped around and it comes off to Ridge Hall. Eastern will quickly push in transition. Wallingford brings it right in front of us, right side. Goes into the high post, kicks back out to Matt Coates, and now they'll slow things up and get into their offensive set. High screen for Ridge Hall. And Coates out front, little 2-man game. They give it off to Wallingford, and now Coates gets it back, and Matt says let's slow things down once more.
Official's going to let them play inside, it looks like, tonight, Misty. We're getting some pretty good battles in there. No arms are really extending, so the officials are going to let them play.
We're at the 3-minute mark of this first quarter, 9-2. Senators out to a 7-point lead. Eastern still being very patient here in the half court. They're trying to get it into Ridge Hall. He's got Jackson where he wanted him. Didn't feed it to him. Wallingford instead will drive and kick to Coates. Now over to Vince Coates at the top of the key. Now they go to Ridge. He'll turn, step through, count it in, 1. Nice move. And it wasn't so much the fact Jackson had his arm straight up.
Yeah, his knee.
It was the knee and the hip that bumped into the back of Hall as he turned. Nice spin move. Looked like Akeem Olajuwon in the low post. And Ridge Hall with an and 1 opportunity. Second Musketeer to score. 2:43 in this first quarter left. 9-4. Hall trying to make it now a 4-point game, and he does as he finishes off the old-fashioned 3-point play. 9-5 here early in this first period of the consolation game of this holiday tourney. In the nightcap, it'll be the Braves and the Lions. Peyton feeds, lob into Byrne, wide
nice
open
pass
over an extended arm of Connor Marshall. So Byrne gets the assist to Peyton, who gets his first basket of the night, and it's 11-5. Senators out in front.
Defensive intensity right now, Misty, is the key to this, what's happening.
Wallingford, he'll go dribble drive behind the back, pulls it out against Green. They give it off now to Trevor Llewellyn, who's one of the team's leading scorers. Started and had a decent game against West Washington the first go-around. Did not get the start, though, here tonight for Coach Newcomb. First sub of the night for the Musketeers as he checked in for Matt Coates. 3 ball way off the mark, no good for Vince Coates. And there's Michael with yet another defensive rebound. He'll bring it left side as he crosses the timeline. Craig tells me he's already got 5 rebounds on the night, does Michael. And now we'll have a jump ball. Nice reach in by Ridge Hall as he ties up Noah. And on the jump ball alternating possession, it will go to the Musketeers with 1:49 to play in this first quarter of action. Ridge Hall will now check out and into the ball game. Jacob Stewart, a 6'4 junior who had a pretty good game against the Senators just 2 weeks ago. 7 deep already for Coach Newcomb. Senators just going 6 deep thus far. Mars the only one to play off the bench. Michael nearly comes up with a steal on the high post.
Darn it.
And then as he falls to the floor, nearly come up with it, he runs into Connor Marshall, about took his legs out, not on purpose, just by accident. Momentum carried him into Marshall, so Michael will pick up the team's third personal of the night. Get the book caught up here.
Had the ball knocked away, just had to go in and try a little more to get it.
Stewart feeds in the corner to Wallingford on the inbounds play. Ball poked away for just a moment. Wallingford has it. Tries to feed into the post. Has to kick it around instead to Coates. Coates over to Llewellyn, right wing. Back out to Wallingford. Picked up by Sizemore. Senators switching things. They hedge a screen. Short jumper. Way off the mark. And then Mars goes into traffic to try to come up with the rebound. And he'll be hammered.
You know, Misty, I hate seeing Michael pick up fouls early in the games because, you know, this team, especially offensively, it runs through Michael Sizemore. Just like your quarterback, he's the quarterback on the football team. We operate and run through Michael. If Michael's not competing, then we struggle.
Llewellyn picks up his first personal coming off the bench tonight. That's 2 now early in this quarter for the Musketeers. High post feed to Byrne. Now over right wing to Sizemore. Down low over 2 defenders. Green tries to finish. He gets hammered on his way to the hoop. Misses the shot, but he'll go to the line. And it'll be team foul number 3 whistled against the homestanding Musketeers. And this one will go against Jacob Stewart, his first, also coming off the bench tonight for Coach Scott Newcomb, as Ridge Hall will check back in. First free throw on the way is good for Noah Green, shooting in the 70s from the charity stripe this season.
Noah looks like he's really came focused to play tonight. He seems to be Johnny on the spot. He's either there rebounding or he's getting open for offensive possessions.
Second free throw on the way for Green. Off the mark, no good. He doesn't miss a lot of them. But he's got 8 of the team's 12 here in this first quarter as we're under a minute to play, about 47 seconds and counting. Out front, Matt Coates back into the ball game. Feeds to Vince Coates, left wing, picked up by Peyton. Jackson got to be careful as he nudges Ridge Hall off the block with that knee and that hip. Jacob Stewart and Ridge Hall, 6'6" and 6'4" in there right now to try to match size across the front line with West Washington. Pekin may hold for the last one here. We'll see. Ridge Hall, post feed, kicks it back out to Coates. Now to Llewellyn. Thought about a pull up instead with a little pump fake. Gives it up on the left side to Vince Coates. Senators playing some tough man-to-man defense. Sticky here in this first quarter to end the period. Under 10 seconds to play. Drive, kick, Llewellyn to Coates. Off the mark. Peyton, strong defensive rebounds. Got to push. 3, 2, 1. Byrne from the volleyball line. Bingo, baby! Bingo, are you kidding me? From the volleyball spike line near the sideline, not even center court, Jackson Byrne hits the three-pointer from New Albany to end the quarter. He's got 5 in this first period, and it is a 15-5 lead after the first 8 minutes of play. Senators on top. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back with second quarter action here in this 2016 holiday tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. Tonight, you're listening to Senators and the Musketeers tonight on Salem's 1220.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers, solutions, and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Meadowview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681. That's 812-883-4681.
After an exciting first quarter, same thing we saw last night, Senators are going to start the period with the ball and turn it over. Their first error of the night at the 7:54 mark of the second quarter. Just underway in the second period. Again, Senators up 15-5. Their first double-digit advantage of the night off of that monstrous three. Peyton fed in the front court to Byrne, who hit it from equal to or just a step behind that volleyball spike line as time expired.
That first possession here of the quarter, Peyton was running up out back. Michael kind of a lazy, that kind of little left-handed hook pass.
Trying to bank it in from the wing right side from three-ball land is Vince Coates. His shot way off the mark, and Michael goes flying, and he's out of control. And Coach Smith wanted to argue that, but Michael just made up his mind. I'm going, and he almost tried to take off from the MSC lettering there just inside the free throw line and was out of control. That's going to be his second personal, and that's going to be the team's fourth. Eastern committing 3 in this first half thus far, but that's big because that's back-to-back turnovers to start the quarter for West Washington. He's going to gamble and leave Michael in at least for a little bit until the next dead ball, where we'll see 5'7" junior Cam Zink check in for him, I'm sure.
That's what bothers me when Michael starts getting in foul trouble. Michael made the turnover here on the pass, and he was frustrated, and he came down the floor. You could just see it in his eyes.
Three ball for Trevor Llewellyn, his first basket of the night. Cuts the deficit to 7 at 15-8 into the ball game to start the period. Mason Moore, a 6'3" junior, at about 5 points per game for Coach Newcomb's ball club, as well as Leif Edlin, who started in that first matchup, a 6'1" junior guard. Down low, nice feed. Byrne at point-blank range, misses it. Rebound tipped out. It comes off to Sizemore. That's another big rebound for Michael in this first quarter, and he feeds Green down low, and Green continues his hot start to the night. He had 8 in the first quarter, already into double digits now with 10, and it's 17-8. Leif Edlin with it, kicks it back out to Matt Coates. They'll come off the baseline and give it to Llewellyn, who tried for 3-ball land and couldn't get it to go. Michael will push in transition once more. Had it poked away from behind by Mason Moore. Third turnover of the quarter for the Senators, and the Musketeers in transition. Missed the layup. Coach Newcomb very animated. He thought that Matt Coates was fouled from behind, and Sizemore will set down, and we'll probably see Zink for the remaining 6 minutes. Bryce Farmer will also check in, a 6'2" senior, on the next dead ball. And wide open underneath, no communication, and Ridge Hall with an open layup give him 5 on the night, and it's 17-10. 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Out front with it, Mars from Zink, tries to feed down low. Nice feed off the flex cut baseline. And there he is again, Noah Green, now with 12 and a hot start for West Washington, 5:48 and counting second quarter.
We got to take care of some of this miscommunication down here on defense. We were really good early on, but we're kind of messing up a few switches.
Llewellyn going to try an NBA 3, and he left it stuck. Nice closeout by Noah Green. All he can do is shake his head as he walks past. He'll give Bryce high five. Mars will check out, so it'll be Zink in the backcourt with Green, Walker, Byrne, and Farmer up front, although Farmer more of a guard spot rather than a small forward.
We've got to see here on this inbounds play. We got to see the ball and see the player cutting to the basket.
This is going to go to Eastern because it was a jump ball since the ball got stuck on the three-point shot. And they had the alternating arrow, and underneath Hall strong enough to force it up through contact after a late double team by West Washington. That's the same play that got burned on. Yeah.
2 plays in a row, and we were basically burnt there because they're able to get the ball inbound.
Senators pick up their 5th personal. This is going to be the first on Noah Green, and it'll send Hall back to the line where he's been once before tonight and hit his only attempt. Misses that one short, so he stays at 5 points for now. 15-10, 5:35 to go in this first half.
The screener comes down off the bottom, comes up towards the elbow, screens, and then rolls right back to the basket.
Hall's second attempt, a little bit more of a bend in the knee, and he gets that one to go. So 2 of 3 from the charity stripe. Cuts the lead down to 8 at 19-11. Senators back to work offensively. They'll try to run and jump now, as they know Green will be the primary ball handler. Zink out there with him, as well as Farmer, but with Michael off the floor, teams know that point guard, that floor general, is out. Zink, pump fake, he'll dribble drive, give it off now to Green, now in the corner to Byrne, who hit 2 big threes back-to-back there late when it was too late against Borden last night. Green, another drive, this time left baseline, and he'll be fouled. Another foul for the Musketeers, starting to rack up for them. And this one's going to go on 22, Leif Edlin. That'll be his first of the night. Again, teams 4, Senators a committed 5. 1-4 low set, Zink to inbound. They had Byrne for a second, sealed. He didn't throw it to him. Instead, they'll go out deep to Green, now to Farmer, to Byrne. Around the perimeter it comes on the reversal. As Farmer will run the point out to volleyball spike line. No lob it down low. Leif Edlin working against Green. Got his own rebound and put it back up and in. 14 on the night for Noah Green, and it's a 21-11 advantage. Back to a double-digit lead.
Noah Green playing the game of his life here in the first half.
Leif Edlin with it on the wing. Drives against Farmer. Stops. Nowhere to go. Gives it back out top to Moore. The big man will step out. Shoot one from deep. He misses. Edlin with the offensive rebound. Edlin nowhere to go. Double team. He'll throw it away. Turnover number 2 for the Musketeers. Senators have committed 3, and we'll see a substitution as Coach Newcomb will put Parker Wallingford back in. Llewellyn will check out. For West Washington on the floor to reset. Green and Zink and Farmer. Byrne and Walker accompany them in the front court. Leif Edlin picks up Green out there with Parker Wallingford, Matt Coates, Ridge Hall, and Mason Moore for the Musketeers. Zink has it left side. They feed into Byrne. Got to be a bounce pass over the outstretched arms. Typically, that's what you want to see, a pump fake and then a bounce post entry. And that's what Coach Sean Smith just caught Cam's attention and told him he wanted that pump fake and bounce pass. They'll get it into Payton in the corner off the inbounds feed. They'll try to slip 2 guys to the block. They miss Farmer and Green on the exchange. Zink has it between the legs. Now gives it off left wing to Green. He'll dribble drive again against Leif Edlin. Take it up to the glass and in. And 8 points now in this second quarter. Matches his 8-point total in the first. Green was 16 of the team's 23. And Noah, again, looking for maybe a career night as they feed Ridge Hall on the right block. He's able to finish for 2 more. He's got 5 in the period, 8 in his first half, and it's 23-13.
Be careful picking the dribble up.
Senators go underneath. Missed a shot at point-blank range, and Hall off with the rebound. He'll leave it for Matt Coates, and now he'll dribble it up across the timeline and set the offense for the Musketeers. 23-13, 3:23 and counting in this first quarter of play. They try to go into the post. Hall has to step out instead to the perimeter to get it. Swings it back out top now above the volleyball spike line and between the circles to Coates, who leaves it off for Wallingford. 2, 3 dribbles, picks it up, gives it off now to Coates, right back to Wallingford. He'll pump fake, give it to Moore. Moore will try to beat Byrne off the dribble, and he does. Mason Moore gets his first basket of the night off the bench, and just like that, it's 23-15, back down to single digits. And continuing to try to carve into that lead by West Washington. They hit Farmer in the high post, gives it back to Zink. He drives now off to Green. He's going to drive again, leave it off for Zink. Deep 3,
That's
left corner, way off the mark, no good.
Yeah.
Thought Green should have just went ahead and took it to the rack on that possession. Leif Edlin quickly into the front court to Wallingford. Pump fake, goes against Payton. Sold the pump fake. Payton paid the money for it, and he'll pay the price with a foul as well. He picks up the personal, but this will be team foul number 6. And for Payton on the night, that'll be his first personal, as Wallingford will get the free throw attempts, and we'll have a timeout on the floor, a 30-second timeout called by Coach Sean Smith before the free throw attempts for Wallingford here in this second period with 2:32 to play. Senators lead at 23-15. Fans, don't forget, after the big game, you could stop in at McDonald's on South Main Street in Salem and check out many of their signature sandwiches like the Big Mac, the Quarter Pounder, and that buttermilk chicken sandwich, which is delicious. You can also get fries and a $1 soft drink to go with your meal, and you can top off your visit to the cafe and to McDonald's with one of their specialty drinks. McDonald's in Salem, home to Coach's Corner, and a great sponsor of Senator basketball all season long here on Salem's 1220. Again, Senators up by 8. They've led by as many as 12. It was 23-11 just a minute or so ago. And out of the timeout, first one of the night for either coach, it'll be Parker Wallingford to the free throw line. 5'10" and a junior at about 7 points per game for Coach Newcomb's Musketeers. This will be his first trip to the charity stripe. First scoring opportunity as well, and that one true. So he's got his first point of the night. Musketeers getting up plenty of free throws in this first half. 23-16. They'll try to make it a 6-point game. If he can connect, and he does. So Wallingford's got his first 2 off the foul by Peyton. 2.5 minutes to play before the halftime break. Green brings it into the front court, works the dribble between the circles, now will veer off the left side. Tries to feed it to Byrne. Instead goes crossover between the legs. Stagnant offensively.
Yeah, we're
Coach
not moving.
is going to put Michael back in here. Going to have to be careful of a 5 count. Green instead dribble drives, gives it off to Zink.
Oh, no.
Steals it, and we're going to have back-to-back turnovers. Nice steal by Ridge Hall. And then he goes to the deck, lost his balance. So turnover number 4 for West Washington. Turnover number 3 then for Eastern, as Ridge couldn't hold on to it in transition, slipped and fell. Ball sailed out of bounds, and he went crashing into the feet of some of the Senator players down on this end. 2-minute warning here in this first half of play. 23-17, Senators out in front. Nice turnaround spin move. Silky smooth fadeaway jumper by the Iceman. He's got 7 in this first half, and it is 25-17. Minute 50 to play.
Michael's got to be careful here because Coach Newcomb, he knows what he's doing over here, and he realizes Michael's back in the game with 2. He's going to start dribble driving at him.
Wallingford picked up by Sizemore, who's back in for KM Zink. Byrne picking up Hall, forced him to give it up to Wallingford. Byrne will switch out on the screen. Now Michael trying to battle the 6'6 Ridge Hall down low, and Ridge lost the handle as they tried to feed it in. He goes crashing into a Senator cheerleader, and I think maybe she might have tweaked her ankle. She's upset and crying. May need to get an athletic trainer down to check on her. Inadvertently fell into one of our cheerleaders who may have tweaked a knee or an ankle. I'm not sure. But the Senators off turnover number 4 for Eastern. Give it right back over. 5th turnover leads to a basket by Connor Marshall off of the seal. Makes it now 25-19. And underneath, Byrne misses a layup. And then Mars gets fouled from behind by Mason Moore. So offensive rebound work for Mars back into the ball game. Out there with Byrne, Green, Sizemore, and Walker. Nick Mars will go to the free throw line, averaging around 5 points or so per game for Coach Smith off the bench. The junior big man's first free throw attempt is on the way and good.
We've got to be a little smarter down here when teams set up and press against us. We get too big of a hurry. We're wanting to force the ball out, and push it too fast. We've got 10 seconds to get to half court. Slow it down a little bit. And be, fundamentally sound with the ball. Look, make a fake pass and then a dribble, or a fake and an overhead.
2 free throws by Nick Mars are good, and that ends a little bit of a scoring drought for West Washington. They got it really stagnant before Michael came back into the ball game. Out front, Coates with it. Goes back left side to Wallingford. He'll drive in, split a gap, and then have it stolen away by Sizemore. Turnover number 5 of this half for the Musketeers, matching the Senators total after the Senators went spotless in that first quarter of play with no miscues. 5 turnovers here in the second have made things a little more interesting as Trevor Llewellyn will check in next dead ball. Senators go to the double stack delay at the high post on both sides. Green now will give it to the Iceman about the center circle as he slips through, and he's picked up by Hall. Senators will try to burn clock here and get one final possession. Byrne brings it left side. Tried to get too fancy with the dribble, and we don't need 6'4",
Jackson out here
275
doing
dribbling.
that. We get in the wrong setup there, and it rotates out where Jackson's got it. If Jackson's got it, somebody got to come help.
19.4 in the costly turnover. They're 6th now of this quarter and of the game altogether. It's going to give Eastern a chance to chip in to this 8-point advantage before the break. Connor Marshall has it high post, tries to kick it out. He does to Coates. Now over to Moore, back out to Matt Coates. 5 seconds to play. Back to Moore. NBA 3 on the Morae.
We didn't need that.
Mason Moore with a huge 3-pointer as he trims the lead to 5, 27-22. Our halftime score, Senators up by 5 points, but Mason Moore giving the Musketeers a little boost, a little shot of confidence going into the locker room. Again, carving that 8-point lead of West Washington's down to 5. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back for our Senator halftime report brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors just south of the square in Salem. You can also check out their nice showroom and lot there on South Main Street. When we come back, we'll look at the numbers individually and as a team for both of these ball clubs. Senators again lead at 27-22 at the halftime break. We'll hear from a couple of sponsors, and we'll come back with that halftime report right after this.
McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the premium quarter pounders coming in tonight, alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sideline, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside from 4 a.m. to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Head on down to Eddie Gilstrap Motors in Salem and get your new or used Ford, Ram, Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep. Stop in the new office at 207 South Main Street right here in Salem for the best deals in the Kentuckiana area. See Steve, Travis, or Neil and give them an idea of what you're looking for. Whether it's new or used, the guys at Eddie Gilstrap Motors will work hard to put you in the ride of your life. Check out the new Ford and Ram trucks, as well as their new crossovers and SUVs. Or if new is not in your budget, the no-pressure guys at Eddie Gilstrap Motors will help you find a certified pre-owned vehicle. Stop in today at Eddie Gilstrap Motors for the best deals in the Kentuckiana area. Call today at 812-883-3481 or check them out online at EddieGilstrapMotors.com. Don't forget the body shop and come see the all-new Detail Center and speak to Brian Fisher about what he can do for all your detailing needs.
Back to begin our Eddie Gilstrap Motors post or halftime report, rather. Senators lead it on the scoreboard 27-22, but a big three-pointer by Mason Moore gives the Musketeers a much-needed boost of confidence heading into the halftime break. Let's look at the numbers individually first for both clubs, and we'll start with the host, Eastern. Musketeers searching for their first win of the season. At the half, Matt Coates with 2 points off of 2 makes from the free throw line. No field goals for him in that first 16 minutes. Ridge Hall, 8 points to help pace the Musketeer attack. 3 makes from 2-point range. He went 2 of 3 from the charity stripe. Connor Marshall chips in a 2-point basket in the second quarter. Parker Wallingford started, got a couple of free throws to fall for his lone 2 points of the first half. Vince Coates started but did not tally for the Musketeers. Off the bench, Mason Moore, of course, that big basket at the end of the period gives him now 5, all in the second quarter of play in this first half. And Jacob Stewart played off the bench but did not tally in the first half. Musketeers were 6 of 7 from the free throw line for 85% through the first 16 minutes of play, and they turned it over 5 times in that first 2 quarters of action. Meanwhile, for West Washington, not a lot of balance like we're used to seeing because Noah Green has done most of the heavy lifting. Noah Green at the half, 16 points off of several nice drives to the basket, and a lot of work being done at point-blank range for the junior big man. He was also 2 of 3 from the charity stripe in that first half of play. Michael Sizemore did not score in the first half, as well as Hunter Sanford, who set after picking up the technical foul there in the middle of that scrum in front of the Senator bench. Peyton Walker chipped in a 2-point basket in the first quarter, and Jackson Byrne has 7 here at the half. 2 2-point field goals and a 3-point basket to his credit. Nick Mars, Bryce Farmer, Cam Zink all play off the bench with only 1 scoring. That was Nick Mars with a couple of free throws there about midway through that second period of play for West Washington, who went 4 for 5 from the charity stripe for 80% in that first half of play. They committed 6 turnovers in the first half, and that may be the storyline for West Washington. After going the whole first quarter without a single miscue, the 6 came in that second quarter, and some of them a little too costly, giving some scoring opportunities to the Musketeers. Senators led at 15-5 after the first quarter of play. They get outscored 17-12 in the second period, but just enough to hold on to a 5-point advantage at 27-22 here at the halftime break. We'll step aside. We'll hear a word from another sponsor, and we will come back and look at the team's shooting statistics and rebounds from this first half of play. Senators, again, a 5-point lead at the break tonight. You're listening to coverage of the 2016 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. And you're listening to that coverage on WSLM 1220 on the AM dial. Back with more right after this.
Make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers, solutions, and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Meadowview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681. That's 812-883-4681.
Correction on the scoring as we come back to our halftime report, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem. As Peyton Walker, we had him for 2 points. That was a miscue on my part, and Byrne credited with that other basket. So instead of 7, give Byrne 9 in the first half. Joe, you got the other shooting numbers.
Yeah, for the Senators, from 2-point range, they were 10 of 18 at 55%. 3-point range, they were 1 of 2 at 50%. Overall, the Senators were 11 for 20 and 55% from the floor. Eastern was 5 of 8 at 62% from 2-point range, 2 of 12 from 3-point range at 16%. A total from the floor of 7 of 20, 35%. Rebounding, West Washington had offensive boards 4, 9 defensive boards, 13 total. For Pekin, they had 1 offensive board and 5 defensive boards for a total of 6. Assist to turnover ratio, 6 assists for the Senators, 7 turnovers. Pekin had 6 assists, 5 turnovers. I think the key to that first half, or maybe not the key, the actual kind of maybe a little bit of the negative part of the first half. Really, the first quarter was just totally, a good quarter for the Senators. That second quarter, they started turning the ball over a little bit, and I think they got a little bit tired. They lost their legs a little bit. That last 3-point shot, they kind of dropped back, looked like they were on their heels as Pekin was working the ball around the horn, kind of got back on their heels. I didn't see any hands get up in the air, and he got off a pretty easy 3-point shot.
Senators will try to cling to a slim advantage. Last night, if you remember, at the half, Senators led at 22-20, and that was courtesy of a hot start. They got out to a 15-7 advantage, rather. Actually drove the lead to 19-9 early in the second period, then went cold. And Borton seized momentum at the end of the half, much like the Musketeers did at the close of this first half. And we'll see if the Senators can establish Hunter in the beginning stages of this third quarter, get him going a little bit, see if they can expand this lead back out. Senators leading by as many as 12 at one point in this first half tonight. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back with third quarter action after this. You're listening to coverage of the 2016 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank on Salem's 1220. Back with that third quarter right after this.
I'm here at John Jones GM City in Salem, Indiana, and I'm talking with sales manager Troy C.
It's the season for giving, so why not give you and your family a very special gift for 2016? A nicer, newer car. John Jones GM City in Salem, Indiana, we're going to make that fun and easy. Visit us today and you can drive a brand new 2017 Silverado for only $24,899. If you want an SUV with hot looks and great gas mileage, treat yourself to a brand new 2016 Buick Encore, just $19,999. Rates as low as 0% APR, hundreds of pre-owned vehicles and local trade-ins, many priced below $5,000. Make this your December to remember. Visit us today at 1450 South Highway 60 in Salem, Indiana. Call 1-800-I-SELL-GM or visit us online anytime at johnjonesautogroup.com.
John Jones GM City. You see so many because they paid so little.
Back inside the gymnasium here at Eastern High School. Senators will have it across the way to inbound, and it'll be Noah Green that gets it into Michael Sizemore, who's pressured heavily in the backcourt by Matt Coates. Senators will go back to their original 5. Green out there with Sizemore in the backcourt. Byrne, Walker, and Hunter across the front line for the Musketeers. They will go with Mason Moore, Connor Marshall, and Ridge Hall, a big lineup across the front. Wallingford will start with Matt Coates for the Musketeers. Senators have it poked away underneath. Nice feed, and Sizemore splits 2 defenders. Gets his first basket of the game to start this third quarter, and the Senators now lead at 29-22. Nearly a minute gone by here in the third.
When it's good to be good with your left hand, as Michael was there on the little scoop.
Mason Moore with it, gives it out to Ridge Hall, way out top, right side, gives it back to Moore, thought about a 3 and gives it up instead as he gets instruction from Coach Newcomb. Senators work the man-to-man out of the locker room and out of the break, and Wallingford will look to drive against Walker, gives it up to Coates. Michael with the switch off, he picks up Coates now as they cycle back through, looking for a high screen from Moore. He'll dribble drive, nowhere to go right side, has to bring it back out. Trying to take the air out of the basketball, and underneath Michael picking up Ridge Hall, and they lose Marshall for just a moment. Now Marshall picked up by Hunter. Wallingford has it, left wing. Dribble drive and gives it back to Wallingford, or to Coach, back to Wallingford,
off.
and now we'll have a foul underneath.
See, I knew that was going to happen. When Michael gets switched off on him that long a time, he's moved around the floor enough. We've got to get somebody switched back. Hunter or Peyton or even Jackson has got to switch back off. Michael can't guard and match up with Hall, and that cost him to get that third foul.
Senators will have to reset defensively here with Coates out front, picked up by Sizemore, who stays in with the 3 personals. Wallingford controls, dribble drive against Peyton, gives it off to Moore, now back out to Coates. Coates left side, now to Marshall. Marshall trying to feed down low as Hall continues to work in the high and mid post against Byrne. Wallingford will fire and pull the trigger on 3 off the mark. Ridge Hall, long rebound, his jumper off the mark, no good. Trying to save it. Senators come out of there with it. We'll give credit to Michael on the rebound as he threw it in, and it was tipped around, but finally comes off to Sanford. Green with the 3, Peyton with the 3 in the corner. And a timeout by Coach Newcomb. Senators lead at 32-22, back to a double-digit lead. 30-second timeout called by Eastern head coach Scott Newcomb, his first timeout of the night. 6:05 to play in the third quarter. Fans, we remind you, Ace Hardware of Salem. Be sure to check in and see their December bargains of the month as the Christmas holiday approaches, just a week away. Stop in and get some great last-minute gift ideas from Ace Hardware in Salem, one of my favorite places to shop in the county. As again, they bring you their bargains of the month, and they'll also bring you our Senator postgame show here tonight on Salem's 1220 as we wrap this one up and put a bow on this 2016 edition of the holiday tourney. Lions and Braves to follow in the nightcap for the title, as Eastern will have it off the made 3 by Walker. 6:04 now and counting into third out of the timeout. Wallingford will bring it up. Center court, works it between the circles, now left side off to Matt Coates. They tried to slip through a screen and roll, trying to get Moore. Moore thought about 3. Now he'll drive. Michael's still in with the 3 personals, and now from nearly the white line, Matt Coates way off the mark, and there he is tracking down yet another rebound. Michael got to be close to double figures. He'll push into the front court, right side, leaves it off for Peyton, who feeds down low to Byrne. Byrne couldn't handle it, a little too hot, and then he's going to pick up a foul after he couldn't handle the post feed. And Coach Smith wanted to argue that one, but you can't use your body as a bumper car. 2.5 gone by here in the third.
That's what you call frustration
turnover
foul
of the night for West Washington's, 5 against the Musketeers. But again, the Senators went the whole first quarter without a single miscue. Gave it up 6 times in that second period. Picks up their first now of the second half. Byrne picks up the personal. That is his second of the night. Deep 3 for Wallingford from the right corner over there where Byrne hit 2 in a row last night. Wallingford's got his first field goal. Give him 5. And it is 32-25. This Musketeers club surely doesn't look like an 0-6 team. They've had a couple of close ones. They lost by 2 early in the year in their second game to Scottsburg in the Mid-Southern Conference. This team looking for their first win and trying to avenge a nearly 30-point blowout over in the friendly confines 2 weeks ago. As the Senators will go into an isolation, they'll go backdoor. Nice feed from Byrne to Sizemore. He misses the layup, and then Hunter rode to the floor. Connor Marshall trying to block him out, undercut him. Hunter went to the floor, and it's going to go on Marshall. That's going to be his first, team's first of the second half with 4:43 to play. And underneath, they get it underneath, counted and one. Another undercut by Marshall, almost a mirror image of what we had just witnessed. And they get it in quickly. Michael noticed that Hunter had inside position, and on his way up to finish off the glass, he gets undercut, and Hunter gets his first basket of the night at the 4:42 mark of this third quarter, and he'll have an and one opportunity substitution as Stewart checks in, and Marshall with back-to-back fouls will check out.
He was frustrated over the first foul, standing there with his head hanging down, and that's how Hunter beat him to the spot.
Got to get Hunter going here in a close ball game, and that free throw rattles around and in. So Hunter with his first points of the night here midway through this third quarter of play. Make it now 35-25, back to a double-digit advantage for West Washington. Dribble drive by Matt Coates, and he finishes at the rim. One of the smallest guys on the floor right now, 5'11".
He got a step on Michael there and went straight to the bucket.
35-27, 4:18 and counting, third quarter. They try to go to Byrne down low, missed him, had a lob opportunity, didn't throw it to him. Instead, they throw it back out. And then on a double team, Peyton gets bumped on a flex cut, and it'll be another Eastern foul. And this one's going to go against 10 Wallingford, and there's that signature whistle from Coach Newcomb as he gets his guys' attention. But he'll have plenty of time to get their attention in this timeout by Coach Sean Smith with 4:11 to play. It's a full timeout, so we'll step aside and take one as well. Senators up 35-27. Tonight you're listening to coverage of Eastern Musketeer basketball as well as Senator basketball here on Salem's 1220, and we'll come back with more right after this.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I like to buy name brands.
Brendan stopped by from Valspar Paint last weekend. This time, I helped him pick out a new Weber grill and Craftsman pliers. Scott's, Toro, DeWalt. We have them too, along with other big names.
Ace is the place that carries all the best brands. Carries in store, not in our arms.
At Ace Hardware of Salem, you can save on the best brands like Carhartt and New Balance. Need gift ideas? Check out daily posts at facebook.com/Ace Hardware of Salem.
Senators already out of the huddle from that timeout. Here come the Musketeers back on the floor. It was a timeout by Coach Smith. 4:11 to play in the third. Senators will have it under their own basket. They'll go with a mid-post stack. Byrne will break to the basket. He'll clear out two guys for Hunter, who races to the block, gets fed by Sizemore, and then gets hammered on his way up. And for the Musketeers, this will be team foul number 4 of the half. And it will go on Jacob Stewart, his second personal. And Hunter Sanford goes back to the line, give him his 4th point now.
That inbound play right there kind of reminded me of a play we used to run called Cash.
Yep. Clear the guys out from the block and let a guy streak from the high post. Usually is a money play, hence the name. And Hunter cashes in with 2 big free throws, give him 5 all in this third quarter. And it is 37-27, back to a double-digit advantage. Llewellyn, a deep 3 over there in that right corner.
Called us right there in the defensive switch. Peyton switched off of him. Noah wasn't quite there yet.
That's his second triple of the night. All 6 of his points coming from downtown, and now we'll have an Eastern foul at the other end. And Coach Newcomb instructing his guys defensively as to what he expects. Team foul number 5 against the Musketeers, and that'll be Matt Coates' second personal. There's the whistle again in the background from Coach Newcomb. He gets his guys' attention, tells them to match up here in the half court. Green has it. He's been quiet after 16 points in the first half. He feeds Sizemore. His jumper won't go. Dangerous spill on the floor as Hunter is undercut again. And this official who got after Hunter with the technical early, flexing his authority here as he gets after one of the Eastern guys. And this will be, and Coach Newcomb all the way to half court to meet him. He demands an explanation. And while he's getting the explanation, JV coach Josh Green steps up to call out the defense. This will go on Stewart, his third. That's team sixth. Hunter Sanford with a basket underneath at point-blank range. So Hunter starting to heat up. He's got 7, again, all in this third period, and it's 39-30 with 3:20 to go here in the third. Senators trying to claim the consolation prize in this holiday tourney for the second straight year. In the corner, Wallingford has it. Tries to get it back out to Coates. He can as he's swallowed up by 6'4" Jackson Byrne. And we're going to get a 5 count. This is going to be turnover number 6, the first of the half for the Musketeers. We'll see a substitution as 6'3" junior Mason Moore checks back in for Jacob Stewart, who picked up 2 quick personals, giving him 3 now in the game. So he'll set for a while. They'll save him perhaps for the fourth quarter. Michael will bring it up, pressured heavily by Coates. He races it into the front court, left side, gives it off now to Hunter, who tries to feed Green. He does off the flex cut. One dribble, spins, turns, couldn't finish. But there he is. We've got to get Noah heated back up because he was certainly hot in that first 16 minutes of action against 16 points by halftime.
I kind of like to see him use the glass there on that one right over the front. Might make it a little easier. You don't have to put quite as much touch on the ball.
Had a tough angle, though. After one dribble, he kind of turned and was fading to his left. 2:50 to play, third quarter. 40-30. Noah gets the first free throw to fall. And we'll see a substitution as Vince Coates will check in for Wallingford. So they'll stay with a 3-guard set. Llewellyn out there with Vince and Matt Coates. Moore and Ridge Hall up front. Noah cashes in on both. Give him now 18 on the night. And it's back to 11 at 41-30. Rolling up on 2.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Senators with that original 5 out there. They've played with that original 5 this entire third quarter. Coates has it out front. Matt gives it off to Vince Coates. And underneath, another body foul, and Jackson throws his hands up. But again, he has to realize at 6'4", 275, 280, offensive lineman out there. It doesn't take much to bump a guy off the block with your hip, and he's going to get tagged for that more times than not as he picks up his third personal, team's third of the half. Eastern gets it in off the inbounds pass, gets it out to Llewellyn out top. Takes a high screen from Hall, who slips to the block. They miss him on the screen and roll. They'll kick back out instead to Matt Coates and cycle once more through the offense. He directs traffic out near the timeline, left side, still directing traffic, and he'll pound the air out of the ball here, rolling up on 2 minutes to play in the third. Mason Moore with it to Hall on the reversal. Has it poked away. Michael with the steal, trying to go coast to coast. Pump fake, scoop shot won't go. Hunter fought for the rebound. Instead, it comes off to Ridge Hall. He'll give it off to Matt Coates in transition. Quickly runs the floor. Crosses over Sizemore. Ball on the floor. Peyton there to fight for it with 2 white jerseys. Last touch by Peyton. Good effort, though, as it will stay with the Musketeers. Minute 51 to play in the third, 41-30. They'll inbound right in front of Coach Newcomb and company down on that eastern sideline. Minute 51 to play in the third. Matt Coates gets it in. He'll direct traffic and get him into the offensive set once more. It'll be a box set. They'll slide Vince Coates out. They'll kind of trade places. Ridge Hall and Mason Moore on the high elbow. They'll dribble drive left side. Matt Coates gets in there, counted and one. Nice spin move, and Michael, I think, is going to pick up his 4th personal. Coates gets his 6th point of the night. And there's another example of what we have struggled with from day one this season. No one seems to be able to cut off or step over to cut off dribble drive penetration.
Coach Smith had gotten Bryce up about 10 seconds before that foul was called. He was going to try to save that from happening. Just didn't get him over to the scores bench soon enough.
Fans listening at home, listen carefully. Michael's setting with 1:35 to go in the third with his 4th personal. We'll see if they can take advantage here As Coates could not finish the and one opportunity, missed it at the free throw line, makes it
Oh, no.
41-32. Turnover for West Washington, team's 8th. Coates to the other end, nice feed to a cutting Mason Moore. Points off turnovers big for Eastern here, trying to stay in it. 7 points for Moore, and it's now 41-34. Things get a little bit physical, and we're going to have a foul underneath with 72 seconds to go here in the third. And for the Musketeers, that is going to be their 8th personal of the half, so that has the Senators, of course, in the bonus. And the foul goes on 22, Leif Edlin, his second. Noah Green to the free throw line, and that one in and out, no good on the front end of the bonus. Rebound off to the Musketeers, and they're back in business, down just 7 with Michael Sizemore off the floor. Matt Coates brings it to Vince Coates, left side, screen for Hall. They try to get him on a pick and roll, Malone and Stockton style, couldn't do it.
About had him.
Leif Edlin with it now on the right side, tried to also feed the post. Instead, they had to kick it back out. Rolling up on 45 seconds to go here in the third. Edlin with it. He'll take a screen from Hall. Long pull-up jumper contested off the mark, no good, and Hunter comes down with the board. Noah will bring it up. 35 seconds to play. Let's see if we decide to hold for one.
We've got to move. We can't depend. Noah cannot stand out there and just dribble.
Senators go right into the flex offense.
Had Hunter.
Favorite offense of mine to run it as a player, run it as a coach. Just get a lot of movement, a lot of fluent movement, get a lot of screens. You get guys an opportunity to get a mid-range jumper, a shot underneath or in the paint, just like Jackson got. Killing in one off the window. Nice feed down low. And the big man uses his body as a shield to ward off the defender. Give him 9 now on the night, and it's 43-34 with 11.5 to play. And Jackson will go to the free throw line where he's been solid all year.
You know, Misty, every time Coach switches to that flex, we get all that movement. We always seem to get these easy buckets, easy bunnies inside, and we're getting fouled on them. We're getting old-fashioned threes out of them. I say we stay with it a little longer.
Well, I pleaded to see more movement, and it didn't necessarily have to be the flex. Some kind of motion offense, though, to get more of a rhythm and get more fluidity with the offense. As Burns free throw rattles all the way around and spits back out, so Burns will stay at 9 points on the night. It's 43-34, 5 seconds to play, 4-3. Coates with the drive, gives it up. Edlin, deep jumper, won't go as time's going to expire, and the Senators will go into the fourth quarter with the advantage still on the scoreboard. They've led it through 3 quarters of play, have not surrendered a lead yet. Knock on wood, they'll try to get to the finish line with that lead intact. 43-34 after 3 quarters of play tonight. You're listening to the Senators and Musketeers in the consolation game of the 2016 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. We'll come back with that fourth quarter right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back to the fourth quarter of play we go. And to start the fourth period, it will be the homestanding Musketeers that have the first crack at it on offense. As Coates is out there with Edlin, Hall, Mason Moore, and Vince Coates for West Washington. Green, Farmer, Walker, Sanford, and Byrne, 5 seniors without their floor general, Michael Sizemore, setting with those 4 personals. Vince Coates has it, brings it to center court, gives it off now on the right wing to Matt Coates, who goes down low to Hall. He'll spin, go up, and he'll be bumped on the floor. Not sure if they're going to get Byrne from behind or maybe Hunter with the reach on the help on the double down. Now we'll get Hunter with that one. And for Sanford, that's going to be his second personal, and it's going to be the team's 5th of the half. So they'll have to inbound as it was a foul on the floor. 26 seconds into this fourth quarter of play. Leif Edlin gets it into Matt Coates, who works against Farmer. Now will drive and get hammered. He was out of control, but he had Farmer on his heels, and this will be team foul number 6. So the next one will put the Musketeers in the bonus, and that will be Bryce's first, and Nick Mars will hop up off the bench to check back in.
What you're going to get here in the late part of this game with Eastern being behind, you're going to get a lot of sloppy dribble drive stuff. You're going to see a lot of stuff they're trying to draw fouls on. Anything that they can muster up offensively, that's what they're going to try to do here.
Farmer checks out. Mars checks in, so we go with one of our bigger lineups. Mars 6'3", Hunter 6'5", Byrne and Walker at 6'4", and 6'3" Noah Green will run the point. Half minute gone by in the fourth, 43-36, as Coates gets both of them to fall. And Byrne has it on the ball reversal for West Washington. Senators go to the flex. The interesting thing about this flex offense, both nights now we've went to it with Michael off the floor, and I understand you want to keep guys moving without your point guard, but it seems like we would be even more effective with the point guard out there and give him some mismatch opportunities coming off some of those screens as we get a double and underneath. Noah Green finishes with some late help. Matt Coates was too late sliding over, and Green gets his first field goal of the second half. Give him now 20 in the ball game.
We really run that flex well. I mean, we're getting a lot of good looks out of it.
45-36. Hopefully that's something we decide to stick with and put in the old playbook for later on down the stretch. Leif Edlin to Vince Coates. Now go to Matt Coates on the right wing, picked up by Walker. Minute and a half gone by. Matt Coates uses up the dribble, goes to Edlin, pump fake, fadeaway jumper, partially blocked, and they'll get Noah. Thought he got all ball, but perhaps not. Maybe he got the wrist on the way up. So Green picks up the personal foul, and this will be team foul number 7. So bonus the rest of the way, but this is a two-shot opportunity. It's Noah's second personal, and Leif Edlin will go to the line. He struggled early in the season, just a 25% free throw shooter whenever they met the first time, and he shows why there as he was way off the mark long. Threw up a brick. He has yet to score tonight off the bench for Coach Newcomb. Musketeers trailing, though, 45-36. They're going to have to get something going here. Chances to score with the clock stopped will be critical as that one doesn't fall either. So still scoreless on the night is the junior guard.
And also right there, advantage Senators because he misses the second free throw and they can't set the press up.
Green has it now as, again, he controls the point, gives it off to Peyton left wing. Mars comes through on the flex, and they're going to get Peyton with a shuffle of the pivot foot. Drug it before he let the pass go. This will be turnover number 9 for West Washington, third of the half. Edlin will check out of the ball game. Trevor Llewellyn, one of the team's leading scorers, checks back in. Sizemore still on the bench. So Llewellyn will bring it into the front court, leave it off on the wing now as Coates slides to more of a two-guard spot. And underneath, a nice pick and roll, and slipping off the screen was Ridge Hall, who gets a basket at point-blank range. He's into double figures with 10, and it's 45-38, 5:50 to play in the fourth. Green has it. Now we've went to more of an up-out back and standing and watching a lot again. Underneath, though, dribble drive, maybe just an isolation set. Green brought it. Peyton got out of his way, went to the hoop, missed the shot, but going to ride the coattails of Noah Green to the finish line, or at least attempt to, as he goes back to the free throw line. This will be team foul number 10 for the Musketeers, and that'll be Matt Coates' third foul. Green to the free throw line. First one's good.
Kind of missed an opportunity there on that other trip down the floor where Peyton traveled. They missed the 2 free throws. We come back. We've got to be calm and cool here in these last 5 minutes.
Noah hits the first, second one, eyes it, lets it rip, that one long, and then Ridge Hall saves the rebound, just about lost it out of bounds, gives it off to Matt Coates. He races it into the front court, stops at the spike line, holds things up a little bit, now picks up the dribble and gives it off to Vince Coates, who quickly gives it back like a hot potato. Llewellyn off the screen, Reggie Miller style, airballs a 3. Rebound save, though, or the save attempt from Connor Marshall. They'll say he stepped out before he saved it. Won't go as a turnover, just a good effort play.
Need some help down here.
And they're going to apply that full court man-to-man pressure, a little double nickel for Scott Newcomb's club. And he's questioning the save attempt, whether or not Connor Marshall stepped out. 46-38, Senators still not out of danger yet. Green brings it into the front court, brings it left side, now off to Peyton in the corner. Peyton dribbles out of trouble and gives it back to Byrne. Got to get a guy flashing. Here comes Mars off that flex screen. Couldn't get him. He's got a mismatch, 6'3", against 5'11" Matt Coates, and now they're wanting to bring it back to that side. Mars has it. We don't want him with the dribble drive, though. Now we've got underneath Vince Coates working.
Peyton.
And Peyton shuffles the feet. 2 straight travels for Peyton. Whistled against him as we had Green pinned underneath against a smaller Vince Coates. 6'3" against 5'10", and we missed out on a golden opportunity with 4:57 rather to play. 46-38.
You got to do what you do well. You can't do what you can't do well. We get caught too many times trying to do things we can't do. There, Hunter just knocked the rebound right out of Peyton's hands.
Drive, kick, 3 ball was no good. Musketeers struggling to find the range from deep. Michael's going to check back in here, so hold on to your hats with 4:42 to play in this one. Mars will check out, so we'll roll with the 5 seniors in the regular starting lineup. The Fab Five back in together. And now we're going to have a foul underneath off the inbounds play, and this one going to go on Jackson Burns, so he picks up his 4th. And this will be team foul number 8, and Ridge Hall to the line with the clock stopped. 4:41 to play. Hunter will get a drink and a word or two of instruction from Coach Smith back here in the backcourt. Nobody paying attention. Wallingford will check in. Llewellyn checks out. And Ridge Hall at the free throw line hits the first.
Misty, I got to tell you, I got a feeling the boat's got a small hole in it right now.
They better cork it quick. 46-39, make it, it's going to stay there as Michael fights for the rebound. Ping-ponged around. Byrne comes out with the defensive board as Hall missed the second attempt. 46-39, 7-point game, lower scoring battle. Eastern trying to avenge a near 30-point blowout 2 weeks ago. Underneath, nice feed to Hunter, and he is hammered. And I think they're going to get Matt Coates for perhaps his 4th personal. We'll see. They do, in fact, get Matt for his 4th, team's 11th. So Hunter, Senators already in a double bonus, will shoot 2 anyway on the shot attempt. First free throw on the way, in and out, no good. Senators also need to score when they have a chance with the clock stop. Peyton's going to check out. Bryce is going to check in. Hunter with another free throw attempt. Hunter hovering around 70% on the year. Gets the second one to go. Hunter he was 4 out of 5 on the night. That was his first miss. Make it now 47-39. Senators back to work defensively. Coates looking to dribble drive against Sizemore with those 4 personals. Llewellyn gets fouled from behind, and that's what happens when you trail a guy off of a curl move. It was Hunter who trailed Llewellyn, and he tried to block the shot from behind. And speaking from experience, 9 times out of 10, when you try to block someone from behind, you're going to get tagged whether you actually touched anybody or not, because it looks like it's almost an optical illusion to those officials when it's swiped from behind. And Llewellyn to the free throw line off of Hunter's 3rd personal. Team foul number 9. Llewellyn hits the first.
Most of your successful blocks come from the help side defense. Usually the guy guarding the guy can't get the block, but the guy coming over to help is the one that can usually get it.
Llewellyn.
32's got to be all over our back there.
Llewellyn missed the second one. He will check out. Wallingford will check in. They'll go offense for defense. They'll set up their full court pressure, though, because it was tipped away as Ridge Hall was fighting Byrne for the rebound and tipped it out. Wild errant pass. Farmer tries to save it in. And an unforced turnover off a long inbounds pass. Turnover number 5 of the half. Coach Smith, he's watched enough. 4:04 to play. We're at the halfway point of this 4th quarter, folks. 47-40. Senators still up. Full timeout on the floor by Coach Smith means we'll take one as well tonight. You're listening to the Senators and Musketeers on Salem's 1220 in this 2016 holiday tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. We'll come back with more right after this.
care. Not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back to fourth quarter action here. Senators up 47-40 with 4:04 to play. While we got a moment, teams back out onto the floor. Before they inbound, want to give a shout out to a longtime listener, a faithful listener of ours, Miss Garnell Stevenson. If you're listening tonight, I want to send you happy holiday wishes and thank you for being a loyal listener to us all season long. Once again, 3-ball in and out, no good. As Matt Coates fed Vince Coates,
down.
He couldn't get the three-pointer to fall, and we dip under that halfway point here, 3:42 and counting, 47-40. The gym starting to fill up here, waiting for that nightcap, and Byrne underneath, nice hook shot. And Jackson Byrne has his 11th point of the night, make it now 49-40. But again, the Senators not out of the woods yet. Matt Coates, dribble drive, works against Sizemore, stops, gives it off to Vince Coates. Underneath to Marshall, back out to Vince. His three from the corner won't go. Ridge Hall fighting for the rebound, can't come up with it, and Michael will slow things up. He'll let traffic clear and bring it across the timeline at the center circle. Works the dribble out top, above the spike line to Peyton, left wing. Goes to Hunter. Hunter will go in, Sky up for the shot, get his own rebound off the miss, goes back up, missed it again. Ridge Hall comes up with it. Golden opportunity 2 times in a row at point blank range, and the Senators can't punch it in. Like getting stuffed on first and goal, and then getting stuffed on the next 3 series as well.
Just can't seem to finish the deal tonight.
Letting Eastern hang around, a team that's hungry for their first win of the season. Matt Coates goes hesitation, crossover, kicks out. Llewellyn, deep three from the top of the key, and there it is, his 3rd triple. He's got 10, and it's 49-43. 6-point game, 2:32 to go. Coach Newcomb's going to call a full timeout, his first full timeout of the night, again with 2:32 to go. Senators up 49-43. We'll step aside, hear a word from another sponsor, and we will come back with more fourth quarter action right after this.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I like to buy name brands.
Brendan stopped by from Valspar Paint last weekend. This time, I helped him pick out a new Weber grill in Craftsman Pliers. Scott's, Toro, DeWalt. We have them too, along with other big names.
Ace is the place that carries all the best brands. Carries in store, not in our arms.
At Ace Hardware of Salem, you can save on the best brands like Carhartt and New Balance. Need gift ideas? Check out daily posts at facebook.com/Ace Hardware of Salem.
Back out of the timeout by Coach Newcomb. He will have, I believe, 2 fulls and a 30 left. Coach Sean Smith will have 2 fulls and a 30 as well as we head down the home stretch here. Buckle your seatbelts. It could get interesting. And we're going to have a foul in the backcourt on Vince Coates, who is applying pressure to Noah Green. So we'll walk on down to the charity stripe. And for the homestanding Musketeers, this will be team foul number 12. Next foul by West Washington, by the way, will put the Musketeers in the double bonus. And Coates picks up his 2nd personal of the night, and that'll send Noah Green back to the charity stripe, where he's been pretty solid thus far. First one on the way, left it short, not enough leg.
I don't know that I don't want a couple guys down here rebounding. What if the ball comes off long?
Well, we're not going to find out because he rattles that one home. He's got 4 now, does Noah, in this 4th quarter alone. 6.5, 22 in the game. 50-43. Deep jumper, straight away, won't go for Ridge Hall. Byrne clears out the long rebound and gives it off to Sizemore. We'll see if they can run through the offense here and get a quality look at a basket. They kick it out dangerously to Green. Green gets it over to Sizemore on the wing. They go high post, high-low, nice feed from Hunter to Byrne, who had his man sealed off, and the Iceman was 6 in this half, giving 13 in the game. 52-43, the Senators spread it back out. They give up a wide-open 3 to Matt Coates, though. Rebound comes off. Ridge Hall with the offensive board. Back to Coates. Coates stops, thought about popping again. He'll give it off to Llewellyn. He'll drive, nowhere to go. Cut off by 2 blue jerseys. The kick out to Vince Coates, down to Connor Marshall. He'll be bumped. Have a foul on the floor. Simultaneous whistle by 2 of the officials in this crew. Tonight's Indiana High School Athletic Association officials, Mr. Isaac Heisterhold, Brad Bain, and Steve Marks. Senator foul will be their 10th of the half, so double bonus for both teams the rest of the way. That's Noah Green's 3rd. And Connor Marshall to the free throw line. Missed the first. He's got 2 points on the night. And that one missed everything except for the backboard, no whistle. 2 points for him. That's where he stays. 52-43. Senators trying to put this one on ice as they try to enjoy a Merry Christmas and a consolation gift to boot. Peyton has it. Right wing. Swings through. Look at Green. Michael has it out top now. Michael looks back at Coach Smith, says, what are we running? 70 seconds to play. Can the Senators hold on? We shall see. 9-point lead, and we'll go back to the free throw line, and Green with a chance to extend it as he shakes his head at the physicality. This will be another foul on Vince Coates, his 3rd. That'll be team foul number 13 against the Musketeers as Green goes back to work the free throw line. This will be foul shots number 10 and 11 on the night for Noah Green. 11 and 12 as Llewellyn and Marshall will check out. Mason Moore and Parker Wallingford back in. Green hit the first. Makes it a 10-point game. Cashes in on both, so give the Senators now an 11-point advantage at 54-43. 60 seconds to play in this one. Have to get quick baskets here by the Musketeers if they plan on putting a dent in this lead. Wallingford dribble in the air out of the basketball. Not a time to be doing so. He splits 2 blue jerseys, misses the shot underneath. And Sizemore comes up with the rebound. White jerseys all around. He'll give it off to Peyton. He'll bring it into the front court. Give it off now to Hunter, who'll be fouled immediately by Moore in the corner. Mason Moore picks up the personal. That's team foul number 14 now against the Musketeers. 41.2 on the clock. Both teams well into the double bonus. First foul of the night for Mason Moore. That'll send Hunter Sanford back to the free throw line where he leaves that short. Our bigs really having trouble getting extension and getting those knees bent at the charity stripe.
Do you remember what we shot last year from the line total?
That's a question for the guy to my right. Craig says about 65% as Hunter cashes in on the second one. Make it now 55-43, matching the largest lead of the night at 12. Musketeers turn it over for the 8th time, and coming out with the steal was Hunter Sanford. And a second consecutive foul on Mason Moore, team foul number 15. Senators just about ready to put the final piece of tape and the pretty bow on this one for the holiday break. 33.6 on the clock. Hunter Sanford hits the first.
Make my day a lot easier.
Make everybody's after that performance last night. 56-43, make it 57-43, so that's the largest lead of the night for West Washington here with a half minute to play. 57-43, back to the other end. Vince Coates with it, splits 2 blue jerseys, gives it off now to Matt Coates. He feeds underneath to Vince, and Vince will miss it well short. Peyton with the defensive rebound. He leaves it off to Michael, and Coach Newcomb will call off the dogs here pretty much, and we're going to dribble the air out of this thing, and the Senators will go enjoy themselves a merry little Christmas despite blowing a lead last night of 10 points to the Braves and costing themselves yet another appearance in the championship game of this holiday tourney. They will answer with a 57-43 bounce back, and you can only hope the win in this year's consolation game brings the same kind of energy into the new year for West Washington, because if you remember, after bouncing back against Eastern in the consolation game last year, they went on to roll in that Springs Valley Holiday Tourney, coming away with the championship, and then that propelled them into a successful start to 2000.
Are we on?